Welcome everybody to our first hands-on workshop here at WordCamp US 2025. Super excited to kick off this segment. This room is going to be full of these all day. I know that several of you have already kind of sat way in the back. We're going to have some runners that are coming around and helping everybody with a lot of the hands-on parts of this. So if anybody's willing to scoot forward, Jamie would love to have us all as forward as we can. All right, we got some people that want to sit in the back. That's okay. All right, so I am super excited to introduce our first speaker for our first hands-on workshop here. Everybody's here for Launch Your Portfolio with Jamie Marsland, yes? Awesome. Jamie is the head of WordPress YouTube at Automatic. He's a seasoned entrepreneur and educator with a passion for helping others succeed online. With over 150,000 subscribers, he's a leading voice in the WordPress community. His career includes senior roles such as managing director and CTO. As founder of PoodlePress, he's built plugins used by thousands of people and trained more than 5,000 people in WordPress. So, without any more delay, can I get everybody to help me welcome to stage Jamie Marsland.
Hi everyone. Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Wonderful. Let me just do a few things. You should be seeing my screen. There we go. As Aaron said, I've trained over 5,000 people face-to-face over the past 10 years in WordPress. But I've never been in a room this big. This is enormous, so thank you all for coming. It's absolutely huge. Remkus, thank you so much for coming. I knew you would. Can you share my screen again, sorry? At the back. Can you make that full screen? Anyone? So if you do, is there any way of making this full screen?
We need it for captioning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're working on it. So keep going, and if we can, we will.
Okay, cool. So this is a hands-on course. We're starting now about 10:30. It finishes at 12:15. So it's going to be short and punchy. Can I just get a show of hands? It's quite hard to know where you're all coming from in terms of your knowledge of WordPress. So, is anyone here never built a site with WordPress before? Okay, cool. A few people. Who would class himself as a sort of beginner at WordPress? Hands up. Brilliant. Who would class themselves as intermediate WordPress? And who would class themselves as pro? Okay, cool. That's great. I've set you up. We're essentially going to be building a site from scratch today, but I have done a few things to help us move along. I've added some images to your training sites, and I've also added just a tiny bit of content. But essentially, you're going to learn today how to take a blank WordPress website, not quite blank, but pretty much blank WordPress website, and at the end of the session, in about an hour and a half's time, you'll have a fully formed, fingers crossed, professional-looking website. And going through that process should teach you all the basics and all the fundamentals on how to go back and build your own WordPress website. So it's going to teach us some course on concepts as you're actually going through building your own sites. If you get stuck, don't worry, is the first thing to say, but we have Wes over there. Can you wave, Wes, in the blue t-shirt, who's fantastic. And he's going to be on call for you personally. So if you get stuck with anything technical, you've got two options. You can either just raise your hand and Wes will come and help you. If you have a question that you think might be useful for everyone though, then also put your hand up and we've got a microphone going around. So feel free to ask as many questions as you like. The whole point about this is that it's interactive. So if you get stuck or have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them and help you out. Let's get this back on. So to start with, could you If you do have a laptop, could you go to, can you see the website address up there? It's jamiemarsland.co.uk/WordCamp. Okay, and on that page, you should see a big link in the middle that says, and then click here to log in. And it should magically launch you up a WordPress Playground website with everything pre-installed. Never tested with so many people at one time, so fingers crossed. Yeah?
Yeah, the convention center Wi-Fi is very slow. Can we get the WordCamp Wi-Fi? Would it be faster?
It should, is it working at all?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't see
Yeah, it's on your badge, thank you.
Okay.
Can you put your hands up if that's actually worked for you?
It's loading.
Nick, is it working?
It's loading, yeah.
Once it's loaded, it should be quick.
WordCamp Wi-Fi doesn't want to exclude the convention center Wi-Fi, so they're leveling out as well.
If that doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, you'll see at the bottom of your screen another option that says backup login. Okay, so if that doesn't work for you, I've set up a backup on InstaWP where you can also do the same stuff. So it's up to you which one you use.
It's trying to prepare WordPress right now.
Okay.
It's a slow load.
Can you raise your hand if that's actually worked for you? Still there. Okay, Nick's is in, so it should.
I started early, so.
Okay. While that's loading, I'm going to show you the website that we're all going to be building, because we're all going to be essentially building the same style of website today, because otherwise it's complete chaos. So this is the design we're going to be heading towards, and we should do it fairly quickly. It's something I put together. You can see it on your screen, and it's a fairly simple design website. So I'll just talk you through what we've got here. So we've got a header with a hero section up here. And if I scroll down, we've got this image of Portland with a little label up here. And then if I scroll down here, we've actually got a section called Our Latest Work. And when I click on these, I click on this one, it takes me to that individual project. And we've done some customization in terms of the template for this, which I'm going to show you how to have complete control over that. So that's the home page, nice, simple, clean home page. And then we've got a page that collects all our work. But again, I'm going to show you how to customize every element of this. That's the beauty of this. And then we've got a nice, simple team page, which is here. This is our team. Okay, there's the team page that we're going to build out. And then we've got a nice, simple contact page. Okay. So that's the design we're all heading towards, but going through this process will mean you can pretty much create any design. Once you know the fundamentals of what I'm about to teach you, you're going to be able to learn any design. Right, another show of hands. Is everyone in now? Is it still loading?
Still loading.
Yeah, if you click on, if that one doesn't work, then feel free to go to the option underneath it, which you'll see if you go.
Got it.
Got it? You'll see there's another option down here that says backup. So if that is still not loading for you, there's a backup option, which does work as well. Okay?
Start WP,
InstaWP, yeah.
launch demo.
Yeah, just click launch demo. And it should fire up the same thing.
Find on the site that's still preparing WordPress.
Yeah, maybe try the backup option. If it's not loading, go back to that website address there, jamiemarsland.co.uk/WordCamp, and click on the backup login. That one there. That will work as well.
What's a magic login?
Just logs you in magically.
That's
Just-
illogical.
Yeah, that's clever stuff. If you have used Playground and it's loaded for you, then we want to do one more step so you don't lose your work as you're building. And can you see in the top up here that little icon there? There's four little squares. If you click on that, this panel will open up, and you'll see an option here to save. And if you click on save, and then I would just choose save in this browser. Okay. Has everyone got one site, either the backup or the Playground site, now ready to use? So has anyone not got a site working?
No, I didn't get it. I tried to copy down the username and password, and it just jumped ahead before I got it copied down.
Which one, sorry?
Well, it came to a page that had, here's the URL and username and password for the site.
For the backup?
And then I did, on the backup site, then I tried to copy it, and then it popped ahead.
You should just be able to click launch demo and then copy your email.
Right, I did that.
And then it should just load up, really.
There was a screen just before this. Oh, yeah, that page. I tried that.
Just got the
Now we've got a huge range of people in here in terms of some people are coming to this and they've never used WordPress before, and some people are experts. So I'm going to cover some stuff which those folks that have used WordPress a lot, you'll know this already. One of the things you'll notice when you first launch a WordPress website is can you all see the grey bar that's running along the top of your website? Can you see that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
That's called the admin toolbar in WordPress, and it's only shown for you because you've logged into WordPress. So if anyone else visits your website, they don't see that grey bar. Okay, it's super useful though. And can you see in the grey bar in the top left, you've got your site title. Mine says WordCamp US. Yours might say something different depending on where you logged in from. If you click on that, that's your site title in the admin toolbar. If you click on it now, it takes you back to the dashboard. Everyone see that?
Yeah.
So this is the management area of your website. Your customers, readers, viewers will never ever see this. This is where we're going to basically build our sites. Okay, and I'm going to talk you through these menu items on the left in a second. This is like your control center. If you click back on your site title in the admin toolbar, can you see it takes you back to the live website? So that's like your route back and forward. That's one of the easiest routes back and forward between the management area and the live website. Just clicking on your site title up here. Okay, if you click on the site title, so you're all in your dashboards. And I'm just going to talk you through, not everything here, but the key stuff that you really need to know about in here, and then we'll start building some stuff. So this is the dashboard. This is the management area of your website. Your readers and customers will never ever see this. This is just for you to do your stuff. This is where you add content, publish content, do all sorts of other cool stuff. The first screen just is like a welcome screen. All the really interesting stuff in WordPress happens over here on the left in these left-hand menus. Can you see all those down there? So I'm just going to talk you through these, not all of them, just the most important ones that you really need to know about today. So can you see over on the left, you've got posts. Can you all click on posts, please? Okay. So in WordPress, there are really only, out of the box, there are only really two types of content that you'll use to build a WordPress website. And those are posts and pages. Posts and pages. They're your two main building blocks that you'll use to build a WordPress website. Okay. They're your two main content types.
By default.
By default. You can add to those, thank you. But this is what you get. This is what you get out of the box with WordPress. I'll quickly explain posts and pages because it's super important that you understand this. It's one of the fundamental pieces of WordPress. So we've got pages and posts. We'll start with posts. So posts are great for things like content that changes often. That's where typically people use them for. You'll typically see them historically in WordPress, they've been used in a blog. So if you're viewing somebody's a blog, that blog will consist of lots of posts. Posts are great for sort of time-sensitive information that changes a lot. So I have a blog on my website where I post lots of stuff. Okay, so that's your first sort of main type of content that you'll have in WordPress. Your second main type of content are pages. And pages you would most likely associate with more static type of content, more evergreen content. So classic pages might be things like a page called About Us, Contact Us, Meet the Team, the home page. It's kind of static, it's just a document essentially. So those are your two main building types in WordPress. And what's really beautiful about WordPress is that it's entirely up to you how you use these two types of content. So for example, if I was building a newspaper website, for example, which people do with WordPress, or a magazine-style website, I would probably be using 95% posts to build that website. Okay? Conversely, if I was building a very dry corporate website, like a brochure website, I might be using 100% pages. So you don't have to use any posts on your website at all if you don't want to. Or what you might do is have a mix of the two on your own website. You might have a website with some static information and like a blog, for example. Today we're going to use posts for our portfolio. They're very, very adaptive, okay? So posts and pages are the two main types of content that you get out of the box with WordPress, but it's entirely up to you how you use them. Okay, right, next up. So the other thing to say on this screen, on your post screen, can you see you've already got some posts hopefully listed in your post, which I've added already, just so we don't have to create the content today. And in the middle column, you can see whether they've been categorized. These haven't been categorized at all at the moment, they're saying categorized. And you'll see there's a few places where you can add new posts. You can click add new post up here, but you can also add a new post over on the left, okay? Right, next up over on the left, can you click on media, please? Click on media. This is your media library, and you should see some images in there already, hopefully. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Great. Which I've added already for you. Now all this is a central library where you see any images that you use throughout your website. Okay, so if you add a photograph into a post or a page, it will also appear here. But you can add them here first, and then you call them into your post as you're creating them. It's entirely up to you which way you work. Okay, and you'll see things like PDFs in here and other things, video and stuff, if you add them. Okay, it's pretty simple. Next up on the left, things get a little bit more exciting. Can you all click on appearance, please? Okay. And when you click on appearance, that's going to show you your themes. So themes are like templates. They're the designs of your website. This is the current active theme we've got on our website. It's the 2025 theme, which is a free theme. Doesn't cost you anything. It's currently the default theme that comes with WordPress. Okay. But there are thousands of themes that you can use with WordPress with entirely different designs. Okay, and you'll see there's an option at the top of your screen where you can add new themes, which we might look at a bit later if we have a bit of time. But this is the base theme we're all going to be using today. Next up on the left, can you all click on plugins? And this is where you're going to see your plugins. Plugins are like apps for websites. So just like when you install a new app on your phone, it adds extra functionality to your phone. Plugins do exactly the same thing, but for websites. They let you add additional functionality on your site. Okay. And one of the beautiful things about WordPress is there are now 60,000 free plugins that you can use on your website. So if you have an idea of something you want to do on your website, and you find that WordPress doesn't do it out of the box, there's a strong likelihood that somebody has built a plugin that does what you want already. An example would be an e-commerce plugin. If you wanted to add a shop to your website, there's a plugin called WooCommerce that lets you add e-commerce functionality into your site. Or if you want to have a membership website, there are about 30 membership plugins, and then you can choose one of those to add on your site. So there's a huge range of cool stuff you can add onto your sites. We might look at plugins again if we have time. Next up on the left, can you click on... Oh, sorry, the other thing to say is I have installed one plugin which is called View Transitions, which is a really nice plugin that makes your website all buttery smooth. But we'll come back to plugins later. Next up on the left, can you click on Users, please? Just click on Users. So these are the users of your website. These are people that can actually do stuff on your website. You'll see there's only one at the moment. Mine's called admin. Yours probably is as well. If you hover over admin, can you see there's a little edit link? Can you all click on edit?
Don't call yourself admin.
Yeah, don't call yourself admin. Thank you.
Production side at least.
And this is going to be your profile. Now, one of the nice things about WordPress is, can you see on my screen, I've got this add new user option. So if you're working in a team, you can add colleagues or friends to help you with your website, and they'll have access to do stuff. And one of the really nice things about WordPress is that you can give them a different role by default. And these are the different roles that come with WordPress by default. Okay, and each role comes with a different level of power, with subscriber being the least powerful, and as we go down to administrator the most powerful. Okay, so if you wanted like a friend or a colleague to help you create some content, but you wanted to okay it before it actually got live on the site, you could make them a contributor. So you've got these nice roles that you can play with WordPress, and there are also plugins that let you extend those roles to do even more stuff. Right, next up we're going to look at one more setting, but it's one of the most important settings in WordPress, and we'll come back to this later, but I do want to show you it now. Can you hover over settings on the left, and then can you click on this one here, reading, please? Click on reading. And this is one of the most important settings in WordPress, but it's also one of the most confusing, so I'm going to explain it. So this is where you change WordPress. Oh, hello. He says. This is where you change WordPress from a blog into a website. Just turn this off for a second. And the important bit is up here. Can you see at the top here, under Reading Settings, it says your homepage displays, and it's currently set to be your latest posts. Now when I go and view my website, now when I click on my site title up here, that always takes me to the front page of my website. And can you see how it's showing the posts at the moment? These are the posts on my website. So when you first start building with WordPress, it starts as a blog, because that's WordPress's heritage. When it was first invented all those 20 years ago, it was essentially used for blogs. Now most of the people I teach in WordPress are building proper websites. Well, not proper websites, but websites with a blog or like a static website. But it still starts life as a blog. And reading settings here is where later on we're going to change it from a blog into a website. Okay, and you'll see the options up here. Can you see that currently your homepage displays as your latest posts? Whereas later on we're going to make a change. We're going to say, no, we don't want to show our posts on our homepage. We want to choose a static page. Then when we choose that option, we'll be able to select which of our pages we want to set as our homepage here from this drop down. But we need to have built that page first before we select it here. Okay? But we'll do that once we've actually created some content. Okay, cool, that's the dashboard. Any questions? Does that make sense? Yeah. Great. Okay, let's start building. So, let me just flick back to the website we're going to build. And the way we're going to build this is, and this is the way I recommend, if you're just starting out in WordPress, I recommend you build sites, is we're going to create the structure first. We're going to build the skeleton of the website, and then we're going to overlay the design on top of that skeleton. But doing it this way will make it very clear to those of you that are just entering WordPress and just learning WordPress for the first time. They'll hopefully make it very clear to you how WordPress works in terms of the core fundamental stuff. So when you go back and build your own sites, you'll understand everything to do it. So the way we do it is we publish some pages to create the content, and then from those pages we create the structure, and then overlaying on that structure we change the design. Because one of the beautiful things about WordPress is it separates design from content, which means you can change your design at any time and not lose any content. So we're going to start by building this beautiful homepage. Okay. So can you all go back to your dashboards if you're not already there, by clicking on your site title. Alright. Close some of these down. And then over on the left here, from the left-hand menus, can you hover over pages and can you click Add Page? We're going to start building our new page, our first page. And you should see this screen. Everyone seen this screen okay? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So this is going to be our new home page. So it's going to prompt us to add a title. So today we're just going to write in home. And then we're going to start designing. So can I have another show of hands? Who here has used the WordPress block editor before? So about half of you. Cool. Okay. So what we're looking at here is the WordPress editor, or the block editor. Sometimes you'll hear it referred to as the Gutenberg block editor. Sometimes you'll hear it called Gutenberg. It's essentially the block editor, okay? And it's called the block editor because everything on your page is made out of blocks. Everything on your page is made out of blocks. So I'm going to show you some cool stuff. Now you can just type in it. So if you just want to write content, you can just write like this. Not do that. Get in trouble. Like so. But that is actually adding that into a block. It's adding it into the paragraph block, and the paragraph block is our core block. So if you just start using WordPress and start typing, it's actually going to add that into the paragraph block. And we can see that in two places. The first place is over on the right here, in this panel here. Can you see at the top it's saying paragraph? That means this is in a paragraph block. By the way, if this panel ever disappears for you, it's because you clicked on that little icon there. If you click on that icon, it vanishes. So don't panic. You can get it back, okay? So this is the first place that we can see it. And the second place we can see it is this little icon here. It's labeled as document overview. And in my view, it's the most useful icon in the block editor. If you can all click on that now to open it up. Because this shows us all the blocks that we've added into our pages. And it also shows us the hierarchy. And it becomes super useful when we start building more complex layouts. Because it lets us really see the structure and click on things within that complex structure. So my strong advice is keep that open at all times, or a lot today, use that a lot, because it will really help your mental understanding of what's happening. Okay? Now every block that we add into our page can be customized, and you'll see those options over in this panel here. So this is the paragraph block, so we can do things like change the background color, and we can do things like change the text color. We can change the text size here. Now we can do all these things globally as well, but I'm just showing you on the individual page here. And you'll also see we've got dimensions, so we can do things like change the padding. So if I want to add more padding into that, I can do it. Left and right. Lots and lots of options to customize the paragraph block. And then I can also, I can reset all these as well if I want to. Okay. So that's the paragraph block. You'll also see, let me get this how it normally is actually. You'll also see this floating toolbar here. And generally that lets us do stuff within each block rather than customizing the entire block. So this is the paragraph block, so I can do things like add a hyperlink. So if I want to link that, I can just link that to one of my pages, like so. Or I can make word bold, or I can do cute stuff like add a background, that sort of stuff. Okay, so we can customize the entire block, but then we can also dive into that block and customize elements within it. But that's only one of the blocks that you get with WordPress. There's a whole bunch of other blocks that we can add in. Those are all accessed, if you want to have a look at these now, via this little blue plus something for block inserter. If you click on that, that's going to show us the block library. Okay, so these are all the blocks that come natively with WordPress out the box. So if you went off to install WordPress tonight, you'll get all these blocks. I'm just going to show you some of the more exciting ones. Okay, and you'll see I can either search for blocks here, or I can just scroll down this panel and you'll see them all here. So there's quite a few. I'm just going to pick out some of the most useful ones and how you use them. So we'll start with the heading block. So if I want to add a heading into this page, I can actually just drag it across like so. And can you see that blue line that's appearing as I drag it across? That tells me where that heading block is going to go, and it's a two-step process. So you add the block across, and then you write your heading. Like so. And you'll see over on the right, it's telling me this is the heading block, and down here I've got some options to customize it. Now these options look very similar to the paragraph block because it's a text type block, so the options to customize it are very similar. you'll see in a second when I add different types of blocks in, the options will change more markedly. Okay, so that's the heading block. Then we've got a list block, a quote block, a code block, details block. I won't go through all of these. A table block, any poets out there is a verse block. And then we come to this section here. Can you see the little subheadings? So these first bunch are text blocks, then these next block here are media type blocks. So I'll just show you some of these, some of the more fun ones. So this is a gallery block. This lets me add galleries to my pages. So I just drag that block across. Then it's going to prompt me to upload images or choose from my library. I'm going to choose media library. And then I can just select multiple photos here, and it will automatically create a gallery for me, which is kind of cute. Now this is one of the places where the list view, the document overview, becomes super useful. Let me show you this. So if I click on that, can you see now the blocks I've got within this page? So we start with the paragraph block, which is this one here. And then under here we've got the heading block, but then under there we've got a gallery block, and within the gallery block we've got a whole bunch of image blocks. Now if I click on an image block, over on the right here it will only show me the options to customize that particular image block. So if I wanted to change the number of columns in the gallery block, this is why the list view becomes super useful. I could select the top level gallery, and now can you see over on the right I can see the number of columns option, so I can change it to 2, for example. So the list view is incredibly helpful so in situations like that, and especially when we're doing even more complex layouts. You can do a few other things with these blocks here, so I can do things like duplicate it if I wanted to, which can be good for time-saving things. I can also delete them from here. You can also now rename blocks if you want to. So if you've got, if you're handing off sites to clients, you can give it a different name. So when they're using the editor themselves, they can see exactly, especially when you've got long pages, they can navigate very quickly to the sections they want to edit. Let's delete that one. So that's the gallery block. If I just hit return, like you saw there, can you see how it automatically adds the paragraph block? So with a paragraph block, you don't have to add the paragraph block each time. You can literally just hit return, and it's going to add them for you. You can also multi-select blocks here, and then do stuff like that. Okay, let's look at a few more blocks. One of my favorite blocks is this one here, the cover block. We're going to use that one today. Let me show you this. This is really cool. So the cover block, you'll probably see this on a lot of websites, is where you've got a big image, a big hero image at the top of the website typically, or somewhere on the website, and then you've got text within it, but the background image, the image is the background. It's a really cool block. Really super useful. So it's going to prompt me here to choose a background color, but I'm going to choose photo. Let's choose this one here. And then let me just open list view. So I'm going to delete everything on the page so you can see exactly what's going on here. Just delete everything but that. Okay. So that's my block, and then what's nice about it is you can write a title over the top of it. Okay, like so. But what's even nicer is you can add further blocks within it. So I could hit return and then write a paragraph block underneath it. Like so, and then I can do things like align this. And I can change the text size of this one. Do all the normal sorts of stuff you see, but let's say I want a button under there, I can hit return. Now there are 2 ways to add blocks in the block editor. You can either do, as I've been showing you so far, you can click on the plus sign, find the block and add it. There is a shortcut though, and the shortcut is, I'll show you up here so you can see it more clearly. The shortcut is you just hit / and then the name of your block. Okay, and it will find the block for you. Let's do that. You see how it's finding the block. So if I want to add a button, I can literally do that and then hit return. Like so. So the shortcut, once you understand what's in the block library, using shortcuts will save you a bunch of time. So let's add one here. Okay, and then I can align that button, like so. A few other cool things you can do with the cover block. You can make it full height of the browser, of the viewport, like that. And then you can also make it full width, like so. You can also, if I select the cover block, come over here, and can you see we've got this overlay option? So you can add overlays. So if you want the text to pop a bit more, you can do cute stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And you can also, if I click on this little icon here, you can fix the background. So you get that kind of, see how the background's fixed as I scroll up and down. And it's just all with a couple of blocks. So it's a really versatile block. We're going to use that actually for some of our portfolio work today. Okay. There's one other concept I just want to unveil quickly here. So let me just add this cover block again. So that's how the block library works. There's also a concept in WordPress called block patterns. Block patterns are really useful. Block patterns are collections of blocks that have been pre-designed for us. And some themes come with a whole bunch of block patterns, but you can also make your own. So for example, if I just recreate this quickly. Let's say I was designing like a call to action, I want to use it on different places on my website. What I can do is actually select the block and click on these little three dots and click create pattern. And then I can give it a name. And then when I'm using that in other parts of my website, let's say I go to another page, and click on the plus and go to patterns, can you see there's my pattern? And then I can just reuse it. You can do some other cute stuff with patterns as well, but I'm not going to dive into that today. But patterns are really cool. As I said, some themes come with their own patterns as well. So for example, this 25 themes comes with all these patterns down here. These are pre-designed layouts for us. So if you want to add these into your site, you literally click on them, and there we go. And then you can go in and change them, because if I click on the list view, you'll see they're just made out of blocks. Everything is a block. And we can edit it all, or we can customize it to how we wanted it to look. Okay. So block patterns are really, really, really powerful. Right, let's build out the home page then. So, we're going to go relatively quickly. So can you all start, we're going to start with this top section here, which is this section here. And we're going to build this by, essentially this is a 2-column layout. So we're going to use the columns block. These words here, we're going to use a heading block. And then over here we've just got a paragraph block and a button block. Okay? All blocks. Everything's blocks. And because it's, the other thing I should explain, because it's the columns block, when I squish this, emulating on a mobile, can you see how it will stack automatically for me? Just like so. Okay, so, let's build. Can you all click on the plus sign, please? And you can either scroll down here to find the columns block, or you can search for it. So if I just search for columns, like so, and you'll find the columns block. Now you can either drag it across, or you can just click on it. If you just click on it, it's going to add it into the page like so. Okay. And with the columns block, we get a few choices in terms of the proportions that we're going to initially start with. You can change these later. You can have complete control over the width of these, but today we're just going to stick to what's here. I think this one here, right, this looks pretty good. 6633. So if you click on that, it's going to load that into the page for us, like so. And I advise you strongly to click on the list view here at this point, because it's going to show you the layout of the columns. And can you see what we've got here is, we've got the main columns block itself, and then we've got 2 column blocks within it. The first one is the left one, the second one is the right one. Okay. So we're going to do a few things to start with. So if you make sure you've got the top level columns block selected, and then come to this toolbar here, where it says align, and we're going to choose full width. We want this to be the full width of our website. Okay. Now we're going to add some text into each column. Now you can just make yours up today if you want to. Don't worry about copying exactly what's here, but I'm going to copy and paste for speed. And if you click on the plus sign in the first column, and we're going to add the heading block into the page, and then just type your words, or copy your words. Okay. I'm going to change the size of this one because I want a large font. So over in your panel over on the right, in the settings panel, you can change the font. I'm going to choose extra large. Okay, and that you'll see it just gets bigger. So that's the first column. We're going to add some content into the second column. So you can either use the list view to select the second column over on the left, or you can just click into it and it should select it for you. Okay, and we're just going to add some text into this. I'm just going to copy and paste mine for speed.
On columns, it didn't bring up that little menu link. It shows up on this screen.
And if you click on it and select the paragraph block and just paste your text in. Okay, and I'm just going to make mine small.
Okay.
So using the customizer over on the right for typography, I'm going to make it small. And then if we look at the actual site, this just has a little button underneath it, which I'd like to replicate. So the easiest way to do that, we're going to use a shortcut for this, is you can see where my cursor is. I'm just going to hit return, and then I'm going to hit / and then I'm going to type button, and just hit return, and it'll add the button block for me. And I'm just I won't link that yet, we'll link that later if we have time.
Jamie?
Yeah?
Just one quick question. I think for most people, the block toolbar is actually at the top because the setting is selected. Can you just show them how to remove that?
Yeah, well I would actually, it's one of the things I would actually do. So one of the options that you can customize the layout of the editor as you're working in it. One of the things I always do, and this is personal preference, is you can actually fix the top toolbar to the top of your website, like here. Which for you guys, I think I probably did in the setup, maybe, I can't remember. But it's up to you. You can either have it, and it's just these 3 dots in the top right, and you click on those, and then it's this option here, top toolbar. Personally, I like to get it out of the way and fix it to the top of the screen, but it's really personal choice whether you want it. Sometimes for me, it gets in the way here. So I fix it to the top, and all that happens is it appears along the top here. Okay. Right, we've got some issues because this one's got a black background, so we need to customize this now. Has everyone got to this point, okay? Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a few things here, and again, this is where the list view comes in really helpful. If you click on the left-hand panel, the top level columns block to select it. Yeah, so we want the actual top level because we're going to customize the entire columns block. And once you've selected it, click on styles over here on the right. And we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to change the background color to, now today we're just going to use the preset colors, but you can, if you're doing this and you had a bit more time, you could choose your own colors. There's a color picker here where you can pick your own brand colors in and everything here. But we're just going to use what comes with the theme. So I'm just going to select this option here. And you should see the background color of the whole columns block is gone, has changed rather. We're also going to change the text color to white. Okay, all good? And we're going to change the button color. Now again, you can just click into it to select it like I've done here, or you can use the list view over on the left to select it. And you'll see it's telling me we've selected the button block over on the right. And we're going to change the style of that, so we click on styles, and we're going to change the background to white. I'm going to change the text to that color. Okay, so now we're kind of getting there. And then the final thing we're going to do for this one today is it's a bit squishy, so we're going to give it a bit of padding. And again, make sure you have the columns block selected in the list view. Come over to styles, and we will see, can you see these padding options? So we can add some padding to the left and the right and the top and the bottom. I'm doing these as one for speed, but you can click on this little icon here, and then you can do top, right, bottom and left individually if you need to. Okay, but for speed today, I'm kind of happy with that. You have another nice option with the columns block. If you have the columns block selected, can you see this little like icon here, change vertical alignment? So you can, now it's not going to show much here, but you can change the alignment. See how it's changing the alignment here? I'm just going to align top today. I'm relatively happy with that, okay? And if I close down the list view, you should see it's looking a bit like that. Has everyone got something approximating that? Yeah? Cool. And that really is the fundamental process of building pages with blocks, okay? If you use the list view, you can see that everything is a block. You understand that there's blocks, and you can customize each block. It's very, very powerful what you can do just natively with WordPress now. Okay, so that's the first bit of the homepage done. We're going to do this section here now. There's a number of ways we could do that, but for timeliness and speed, we're going to use the cover block. Okay, and because I want to show you a few cool things about the cover block. Now there are a few ways to add that block underneath. Again, the list view is probably the safest way for us to do it today. Or we can click on the blue plus sign and just find the cover block in our block library. There is the cover block, that's the one we're going to use, and just add it. And you'll see it automatically just pops itself below our columns block. Again, we're going to use the images I've already got, so if you click on Media Library here, and you'll see that's the image that's already preloaded, portland.png, and then just select it. And you should see something a bit like that in a moment. Is that okay? Everyone there? Okay, now we've got this little label up here where it says We Love Portland. I'm just going to add that in the title, and then I'll show you how to position it in a second. So if you just write, I love Portland. I'll do it like that. Okay. Now one of the nice things about the cover block is that you can choose where that text goes quite easily. If you make sure you have the cover block itself selected, because if I have the paragraph block selected, I won't see this option. So it's essential you have the main cover block itself selected, or use the list view to select it here. Once you've selected it, can you see this little box matrix thing up here? Okay. It's really cute, this. So that lets us position that text within the cover block very quickly. If you click on that, you'll see we've got 9 dots. And we're going to choose top left, like so. So it's in kind of the right place. If you select that paragraph block now, we can actually style it. Now, what we're about to do here is specific to this theme, but lots of themes give us these style options. And if you come across to the right and choose annotation, can you see it puts that nice little border around it, which is quite cute and easy. Okay. We have some issues though, because we've got this gap between our top hero and cover block, and it's not full width. So first thing we're going to do is make it full width. So if you select the cover block itself, come to your toolbar, wherever your toolbar may be, and choose Align, and then we're going to choose full width. So now we're full width. But we've got this margin between the top hero and the cover, and that's because naturally the cover will add a little bit of margin, because normally you want a bit of margin between a cover block and whatever is preceding it. We're going to remove that margin though. So make sure you have the cover block selected. Come across to your block settings over on the right. Choose styles. Come down here and you will see this margin option. Now it looks like there is no margin, but there actually is some margin already. So this is a bit strange, but if you move it to the right and then move it to the left, can you see how it gets rid of the margin? So now we're kind of where we want to be. Okay.
Jamie, I've been trying to figure this out for a while.
Yeah, sorry. I agree. It's not ideal, but it's.
Send the Venmo payment to you.
Now we can do lots of other things to the cover block. For example, if I want to change the height of it, I can do that by selecting the cover block. There's a few ways to do that. I can come across here and give it a minimum height. But can you see this little, this is the easiest way to do it really today. Can you see this little circle here? You can actually just drag that up and down if you want to. And it's actually, as I drag it, can you see how it's changing the minimum height over in the panel as well? So you can do it by height. I'm okay with that. So that's our second section done, and then the final section is this bit here. Okay. Now this is bringing in in WordPress speak, this is bringing in our posts. Now we're using posts today for our portfolio work. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to create this grid layout very simply. Again, just with core WordPress. So what we're going to do, we're going to use a block called the query loop block, which is not the most elegant name, but essentially what it's going to do is let us create layouts for our posts. Pretty much any layout you can think of. We're only going to do this layout today. Not that layout, but we're only going to do that sort of box layout today, that grid layout, but you can do pretty much any layout for your posts. We're putting them on our front page, but you can put these on any pages if you want to. Okay. So the way we're going to do this is, if you select the cover block itself, like I have on my screen, and then click on the 3 dots, this is another way to add blocks, and it's useful to know because sometimes when you're trying to add blocks in complex layouts, it's quite hard. So this is like a fail-safe way of doing it sometimes. Can you see this option here that says add after? That's basically going to give me the space to add a block within wherever this goes. So if I'm going to say I want this to add after the cover block, so click on add after, and can you see it just then puts me in the right place. Now I could have clicked down there today, but when you're doing complex layouts, sometimes that is tricky. So that is a useful tip, I promise you. Now we're going to use a shortcut to add the block in here. So we're going to type / query loop, and this is the block itself, query loop, this one here. Okay. And we're just going to add the query loop into the page, like so. Now when you start with the query loop, it's going to ask you whether you want to design from scratch, or you want to use one of the preset designs. This block is very powerful, so we're going to cover it quite high level today. I've done some, on my YouTube channel, I've done some much more in-depth tutorials around the query loop block to show you the kind of full functionality of it. So if you do want to dive deeper, then check that out. But we're going to use one of the pre-existing ones today just for speed. Plus it gives us a lot of things we need. So if you choose this option here, choose, and these are the core layouts that you can use with the query loop block. Okay, don't click on any yet, but you see they're giving us a preview of what each one is going to look like. They're pretty cute, and it's taking the content that I've added and showing us what my content will look like in each of those designs. Today we're just going to use this one here, which is the grid one, this layout here, but we're going to customize it. Okay, so just click on grid. And can you see how it's now bringing in our content on our site within that sort of grid layout? It's not beautiful, but it's about to be. Is that working for everyone? Yeah. And can you see it over on the left? It's added the grid block, and if you expand that out using the list view, can you see it's got quite a few blocks within it? It's got grid, post template, group, title, excerpt, date. Okay, so for example, if you don't want to show a date in your posts, I can just delete the date block. Let's all do that now. Just delete the date block. And if you delete it there, it's deleted for all of them. Okay, so now the date isn't shown, which is kind of cute. But I can add all sorts of other blocks within these layouts if I want to, and that's what we're going to do now. First up though, we're going to change the design a little bit. So if you select the grid block itself, and then select the align icon in your toolbar, and we're just going to make it wide width to give it a bit more room to breathe. Okay, so it's looking better. But we're going to do something much more advanced today, just to show you how powerful this is. This is the layout we want to achieve in a second. Okay, and can you see we've got a background image, we've got a title within it, an excerpt within it, and then a read more link. Okay, which is not what we've got at the moment. These are all built using the cover block. Okay, and that's how we're going to do it. So let me talk you through this. There's a number of ways we could do this, but this is the way we're going to do it now. So if you select the title block itself, and click on the 3 dots, I'm going to go add before. And we're going to add the cover block into there. So type /cover, and then add the cover block. Now it's going to ask us what image we want to use as the background. And this is one of the really powerful things about the cover block now, is you can use the featured image. So that's going to pull the image that you've set as the featured image on your post and set that as the background image. So if you choose to set featured image, can you see it's now pulling each of the featured images of our post for us, which is kind of cool. Okay, now within the cover block, we need to add some content. And what we can do, which is kind of cool, we can just drag our existing blocks into the cover block. So can you see how I'm dragging the title block, just nudging it to the right, so it's now under paragraph. And so now each of our titles are being dynamically shown within each cover block. And we're going to do the same for the excerpt, just drag it across, like so. We've still got this initial paragraph block within it, which we don't want, so I'm going to delete that. Okay, let's close that down. So we're getting there. So now we've got the title dynamically showing, a dynamic excerpt within each one as well. And we've got the featured image set as the background. We're going to make a few design changes next. So if you click on, you can, again, there's two ways to do this. You can click on the list view and make sure you selected excerpt. Come to styles over on the right. And I'm just going to size mine as small, like so. The other thing with the excerpt is you can choose how many words you show. So I'm going to choose 25 today just for... Now you can preset the excerpts in the post as well, which I haven't done. So you can be very precise over the content that you showed. So we're getting there. There's a couple of other changes I want to make. If you click on grid, once you've clicked on grid, can you click on custom over on the right in the settings panel? And there's a number of options here, but the one we're going to use is items per page. This is how many items it's going to use on our page for us. We're going to choose 3. We only want to show 3 items. And then there's just 2 other changes to finish this off. We want to reduce the gap between the blocks. So if you click on group, and then click on styles, you'll see there's quite a bit of padding between them. This option here, so if you drag that down, you see we've got less padding between them, so they're looking better. The other thing I want to do is make the text pop a bit more. So I'm actually going to use the overlay within the cover block itself to add a dark overlay behind it. So select the cover block, come to styles, choose overlay, choose a dark color, and now the text is kind of much more legible. So we've got this really nice layout very, very quickly, just using core blocks. The other thing we want to do is just, I'm just going to add read more text. And can you see as I type this, because I'm adding it into one block, because it's a dynamic query loop block, it's adding into all 3 of them. So you only have to do the design in one, and then however many you've got, that's how it's going to do on each one. Okay. So now the page is pretty much designed. All good? But we need to publish it. So in the top right of your screen, you should see a publish button. Click publish. It might say, are you sure you want to publish? So just click it again if it's saying that for you. And then you'll see either an option down here will flash up that says view page in the bottom left, or you've got this little icon here where you can actually go and look at your page. And you should see something a bit like that. Can everyone see that? Well done, everyone. However, we have an issue. Can you see how it's showing us the page title along the top? We want our hero section to be right underneath our navigation. Okay? And that's because, I'm not going to get too much into the detail of this today just because of time, that's because by default when you create a page, it's going to use the page template for that page. And normally, we want the page title to show on our pages. Like if I go onto sample page here, we want our page title on our sample page. Our home page is kind of unique though. We don't want the page title and all this space. But luckily there's a really super easy way to fix it, which I'm going to show you now. So can you all click on edit page in your admin toolbar at the top? Can you see edit page at the top? Click on edit page. Now we're going to get into a bit more detail about templates in a little bit, but we can swap out this template so this page actually uses a different template, a different layout. And you'll see that over on the right. Can you see down here? Hopefully you can all see that. Can you see template options and it says pages? Everyone see that? Yeah. If you click on that, you'll get this little pop-up box with lots of options, but the option we want here is where it says change template. Basically, we're telling this page to use a different layout. So can you all click on change template? Now luckily there's only one option, and it's this layout here, which the template is called page no title. This is one of the templates that comes with the 2025 theme. It's a really useful one. So all you need to do is select that, click on the picture there, and now this page, you'll see over on the right, is using the template page no title. Now you won't see any difference in the editor, but when you save it over on the right or update it or publish it, let's do it now if you click save, and then go and view the page, can you see what's happened? Nothing wrong. Now this page is the only page on the site that's using that template at the moment, but we could do this for other pages if we wanted to. That's a really powerful and simple way to change the layout. Brilliant, well done everyone. Is that working for everyone?
Jamie, could you scroll down so I can see the posts at the
Yeah.
bottom? Thank you. How was it again that you got them horizontal?
I used query loop block,
Right?
and then one of the presets, I used the grid layout on the
Grid layout.
yeah.
Can you also just show them again to make sure there's different pictures in each column? For the query loop block,
Yeah.
can you just show again how to have a different picture in each column?
Yeah, so when you add the query loop block, and let's do it very quickly, and I use the cover block within it. One of the options there is to use the featured image. That's the question was, yeah. And when you select that option, it's going to pull the featured image. So when you create a post, which I haven't shown those that have never used WordPress before, when you create a post in WordPress, and here's a post I've created, and it's just the title and the text, there is an option over on the right to set a featured image for each of your posts. And what that query loop block is, it's pulling that featured image for each of those posts that I've set dynamically. Okay. So now we have a pretty cool looking homepage. Okay, with some cool stuff going on, just using core WordPress. Right, we need to quickly, and we're not going to put any content in these next pages. We just need to create 3 more pages because I want to show you how you create the structure of your website, the navigation, and then we're going to set the home page and set the portfolio page. Okay, so we'll add some content in later, but for now, we're just going to add the pages. So can you go back to your dashboards? If you're viewing your website, just click on your site title, and then go to pages on the left. Okay, and we're just going to add 3 pages. And we're just going to write the titles in here. So if you click on add page, just check the page titles. And we're going to call this team. Okay, no, we're not going to put any content in yet. We're going to do that later, time permitting. And just click publish over on the right. And that's published. And then click back on the, can you see the little WordPress logo in the top left? Click on that. And it will show you the page is now being published. And we're going to do 2 more. So add page again. Let's call this one contact. Just write contact in as the title and publish that one. And then again, go back to pages by clicking on the little WordPress logo in the top left. And I'm going to add one more page, and we're going to call this one our work. Our work. Okay, and publish that. Everyone good? So now can you go and visit your website by clicking on your site title? Okay, and if things have gone well, everyone should be looking at a page like this, hopefully. Is everyone looking at a page like this?
Yeah.
Cool. However, we've got two big problems, two big structural problems. Anyone, any guesses what the two big problems is we need to fix structurally for our site to be logical?
Home page is on second menu, so it should be like first. Home.
Home.
Navigation home should be at the first.
Yeah, brilliant. The first issue is the order of the menus is wrong. It's actually alphabetical. So when you first start using WordPress and you publish pages, it's just going to put them alphabetically along the top for you. So that's the first big structural problem we're going to fix in a second. Second problem?
On blog page.
The blog is the home page. Perfect, yeah. So those are the two main issues we're going to fix. Once we fix those up, which will only take us 1 minute, 35 seconds, then we'll have the structure of the website done, okay? And this is what we looked at earlier, partly. So we're going to start by fixing up the order of these menus here. So let's go and do that. So can you see one of the menu items along the top in your toolbar? It says, actually no, let's do this a different way. Can you all go back to your dashboards by clicking on your site title? And then can you all go to Appearance here on the left, and then you'll see this option here, Editor, and click on that. And it's going to launch us into this. We haven't looked at this yet. This is called the Site Editor. Okay. In WordPress's evolution in the block editor, it started that the block editor was purely used to edit the design of your pages and posts. And that's what the block editor was used for. Now the block editor can be used to design your entire website. Everything. Header, footer, everything. So it's incredibly powerful. I'm going to show you a glimpse. We're going to do a glimpse of that today, but it's incredibly powerful of what it gives you. And you'll see all these options here on the left. You can see you've got navigation, styles, pages, templates, and patterns. Navigation is our menu, so that's what we're going to do to start with. So can you all click on navigation? And it's going to show us the pages that we published on the left there. You should all see this, hopefully. And what's nice now is we can just reorder these by dragging these up and down to get the order that we want. So top to bottom over on the left equals left to right on our website. Top to bottom on the left equals left to right on our website. So currently that's why contact is here, because of the top. So what we can do is we can just drag these up and down. So if you start to drag home up, can you see in the middle it'll pop up and say, give us a message saying, do we want to do this? We do. So just click on edit. And now we can drag them up and down. So you can literally drag home to the top. We probably want contact to be at the bottom. If you want to delete menu items, you can just, we don't want sample page on there, so I can just hover over it, click on these three dots and remove it. And you can see a live preview on the right, and we know we've got the exact order we want. And then we just need to click on, in the bottom left, it will say review one change, click on that, and just save it. Okay? And now we have the navigation in the order we want. So that's the first bit fixed. Everyone okay with that? Did that all work for you? Brilliant. The second bit is we need to set the home page and we need to set the post page. Okay, because they're currently, if I go to my website, as you guys pointed out, it's currently still showing my post on my front page, which I don't want. So this is what we looked at earlier. So if you come out with the site editor by clicking on the logo in the top left, which takes us back to our dashboard. And then we just need to go to settings in the bottom left and reading. Settings and reading. Remember this? This is where you change WordPress from being a blog into a website. And the important bit is at the top. It's currently set that your homepage displays your latest posts, which we don't want. We want to show a static page, so select this option here. Once you select that option, then you can choose any of the pages you published to be the front page of your website. Okay. For us, we want the page called Home. So we just select Home. That means that page is going to be the first page anyone sees when they visit our website. Okay. But you'll see there's another option underneath, which is really smart, called Post Page. What this means is that we can select a page of our website where all our posts are going to automatically appear. Now, we're using posts today for our portfolio. But you can use posts for all sorts of things. I'll just give you a few examples. It could be a blog. I helped with somebody build a food website once, and they were using posts for recipes. Each post was a recipe. It's really up to you what you use posts for. Today we're using them for our portfolio. So we're going to set the page called Our Work as our post page. That means any post that we publish will automatically appear in that page without us having to do anything, as you're about to see. So just make those two changes. Then scroll to the bottom of that page and click Save Changes. And we should be done. Now click on your site title to go and visit your website. And your home page should be your home page, will be your home page. And if you click on Our Work, it says blog, but don't worry about that, I'm going to change that. It should be showing all your posts, which we're using for our portfolio work. Stunned silence. Is that working for everyone?
Yeah.
Well done, okay. So now we've got the structure of the website, we've built the skeleton of the website. And if you are going to go off and build sites, it's a great way to do it, because it makes it very clear to you the core WordPress concepts. Building the skeleton. I'm not really worried about the kind of fonts or anything like that at this point. We're just getting the skeleton built, using these core WordPress concepts. And fundamentally, there were just 3 steps for us to get to this point. Step 1, we just published some pages. That's all we did. In most of those pages, we didn't even put content in them. We only put content in the home page. So step 1, we published some pages. Step 2, we went into the site editor here, and we edited the navigation. But we have to publish those pages first before we can create our navigation. So that's step 2. And then step 3, we went to settings and reading here, and we set the home page, and we set the post page. So just fundamentally 3 basic steps to get the skeleton built of your site. And once you get into the routine of this and you're building lots of sites, that'll take you 5 minutes. It's really quick, but I recommend you build the skeleton first. Just puts everything in place. Brilliant, well done everyone. We're going to get even more exciting now. So, if you go down to your, hopefully you're looking at your homepage, and you click on one of these.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Just a quick question about the query loop block.
Yeah.
What if it is not showing up for somebody?
Yeah, it'll be not showing because when you add it, there is an option. I'm guessing this is the reason anyway. It's probably set here as default as the query type, not custom, would be my guess.
Yeah, I also thought so, because usually there was an option to say, do not use the default query.
Yeah, so if you select custom, it should work.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll need to select the grid to see that option over on the left. And then this is where we set how many posts we're going to show as well, items per page. Okay, that's probably it. Okay, yeah, going back to my home page, if I click on one of these, or if you guys click on one of these, can you see it takes us to the individual portfolio item? This is the current layout of that. Okay, and it's okay, but it's not spectacular. And if we're really trying to show off our work, we might want something a bit more, a bit more visual, like this. Okay. And this is what I was talking about a few minutes ago, that now in WordPress, it's possible to edit your templates, your main templates, And templates are made out of blocks. So you can customize your templates with no code just by using blocks. Okay. This layout here is using the single post template. And luckily, we can edit that layout in the site editor, which is what I'm going to show you now. And we edit it in one place, and then it's used by all our posts of this type. So if I had 1,000 portfolio items, they would all use this template. They all use this template. So you edit it in one place, and then it's used throughout. Okay. So we're going to go and edit the single post layout now, which will show you how to do it for other templates as well. So can you all go back to your dashboards by clicking on your site title? And then can you go to Appearance on the left, hover over Appearance, and then click on Editor. And you should be here. We've looked at navigation. We're going to look at styles in a few minutes, but this is the option we want, templates. Can you all see templates? This is very powerful stuff. Click on Templates. And these are going to show us the templates that our site is using. Okay. And you'll see there's different templates in here. If you scroll down, can you see there's the page no title template that we used on our homepage? But it's just a template, so if we wanted to edit that and change the design, we could. We could click on it and change it because it's just made out of blocks, as you're about to see with the single post template. We have a 404 template, which is the page that's served up if somebody goes to a link that's broken. But you can edit that now in WordPress, okay, which is really cool. If you're using WooCommerce for an e-commerce store, you'll see a different set of templates in here. You'll see a single product template. So now in WooCommerce, which not many people know, you can edit the single post, the single product layout in WooCommerce to change the design of your product layouts. So templates are incredibly powerful. The option we're going to edit today is this one here, the single post template. Can everyone see that? So if you click on that, it's going to now open up for us so we can edit it. Okay. Now these are dynamic blocks, so they're going to pull content in dynamically. So if you click on your list view, the little icon up here, it's more helpful to see what's going on. Now the stuff in purple, the header and the footer, are called template parts, which we're not going to dive too much into today, but those essentially are like mini templates that are used in multiple templates. Like your header is used on the single post template, the page template. So we're not going to edit that yet. We're after the stuff in the middle here. Okay. And you'll see there's a group, and if you click on it to expand it out, you'll see it contains lots of blocks within it. So you've got the title block, that's going to grab the title of the post and show that within this template. It's going to grab the featured image of the post, and it's got a row block, a content block, and some other stuff. Okay. We're going to be incredibly disruptive today. And we're going to delete it, and it's going to panic. So if you click on the group block, click on the 3 dots, and click delete, which is the bottom option, it's getting really worried. We're okay though, we're going to delete it. Let's delete it. Okay. Right, let's have some fun actually. Save that. If you save it, and then go back, click on the top left to go back to your site, and click on it again, and go to your website, and click on one of your portfolio items. Can you see it's showing absolutely nothing? Because we've destroyed it. Because that's using the single post template, which we've essentially deleted everything from it, so it's got nothing to show. And all our posts are now broken. But we're going to fix it up and make something nicer. So can you go back to your dashboard, go to Appearance and Editor on the left, go to Templates, scroll down and find the single post template that we've broken. By the way, if you ever do destroy something like that, you can actually reset them, so don't panic too much. We don't want to reset it though, because we're going to rebuild it. Click on it to open it up in the block editor again. Click on your list view, and you can see all we've got at the moment is the header and the footer. That's why it's completely blank. But we're going to add some cute stuff in here. So there's a few ways to do this, but click on the 3 dots on the header and go Add After. And we're going to use our friend the cover block for this. So type /cover, and add the cover block. And we're going to use the featured image, which means it's going to dynamically pull the featured image for each of our posts. Now remember, this is the template, so this is going to be used by all our posts. Choose Use Featured Image. Okay. Within that, we're just going to add the title block, so /title. That's going to dynamically bring the title of that post with the background image behind it. And then underneath here, we're going to bring in the content. So make sure you have the cover block selected. Now you can just hit return, or you can do it the safer way and go add after. Now we're going to do two things here, just to give it a bit of formatting and for speed. We're going to add a group block first. A group block is a bit like a container where you can get more control over the layout of things. So we're going to add the group block first, so /group. Add the group block. You'll see there's different layout options, but we literally just want this one today because we're going to keep things very simple. And that's added our container. Essentially, it's going to give us some padding on the left and the right. And then within that group block, we're going to add the content block. Okay. So what we've got here is we've got a nice big featured image at the top with our post title underneath. And underneath there, we've just brought in the content of the post. But we've completely changed the layout of our template, just using blocks, no code. Okay, that's probably enough for now. But we could really customize everything and add other blocks into that if we want to. There's loads and loads of options. But let's just save that. Now let's go back to our website. Click on the little icon in the top left, and again, to get back to the site, click on your site title to go and visit your site. Now click on one of your portfolio items, and you should see it's got an entirely different layout for a single post. And all our posts are now using this layout. I want to do some tweaking because I've got a bit of extra margin at the top, which I probably want to get rid of. And I probably want to add a bit of an overlay into here to make it pop a bit more, but hopefully it gives you a sense of what's possible. You can customize all your templates. And you'll see when I go to any of my posts, they're all using that design. So all I have to do is change it once in the template, and all my post layouts will be different. But I can change the design just using blocks. So once you learn the block editor deeply, it gives you the ability to customize your pages and posts, but also the entire design and layout of your website. It's very, very powerful. I'm just using core WordPress. Okay. So that's structure and layout.
Still the same design.
I just want to show you design.
I did wrong.
And then one cool thing to finish. So can you go back to your dashboards and go on to editor? And we're going to look at styles. These are designs. So on the left hand menu, can you all click on styles, please? And you'll see this panel opens up. So these are global styles. So you change them here and they'll change throughout the entire website. So today I was changing things like sizes within the actual page itself, but often you want to do these on a global level. And this is where you do it. These are global settings. So we're just going to look at a few of these, which will show you some cool stuff. So the first option here is browse styles. Can you click on that? So each theme comes with its own options for different styles, and you can click on these and you'll see how the design is changing over on the right, so it gives you a light preview. It's changing essentially the text and the color scheme of the website. These are the preset ones. Now if you scroll down a bit more, you can see you can change them independently as well. So if you just want to change the color scheme without changing the fonts, you can do that here. Or you can design your own. But these are like shortcuts for you to design stuff quickly. And some of these are really lovely. Okay, so those are the different styles. Then we've got typography here. These are our fonts. So you can change your fonts. You can also add your own fonts now, natively in WordPress. can you see you've got fonts here and then these little icons? Can you see those little icons that says Manage Fonts? If you click on that, it's going to open up the font library. These are the pre-existing ones. The two main options: you can upload your own fonts here, or you can install Google Fonts. Okay, and the nice thing about Google Fonts is they're installed locally on the site, so they're not making calls out to Google. So for things like GDPR, they're okay. So that's fonts. We have some other options here, like colors. So you can change the colors globally. And layout globally as well. Okay. Now, one of my favorite features of the styles in the site editor is called the style book. When you're on styles, can you see this little eye icon here? If you click on that, that's going to open up the style book over on the right. And that's going to show you the current styles of each of your blocks. So here's my heading blocks, for example. And if I click into there, it lets me make changes to them, but I can visually see what they're all going to look like. Like, to show you an image block. And again, these are global, so if I make some changes here, it's going to change it on all my images throughout the entire website. Okay? And then if you scroll, once you're on the styles panel here, if you scroll all the way down, you can also see you've got blocks here. You can click on that. And this is where you can also dive into individual blocks and make changes on the individual blocks as well. So you've got tons and tons of controls. Is that a question?
If you make a change that is specific to a given block, and then you change the default for the whole thing, does it overwrite that one?
No.
Or, okay. So once you said it's customized, it's its own thing.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question, thank you. Yes, sir.
So in terms of what you showed us today,
Yeah.
what's your ideal process? Should we start in the style book?
Yeah.
And go with these first and then
Yeah, I would, yeah. That's a great question. So the question was, in terms of process, should you start globally and then potentially tweak on the page level? That's the way I prefer to do it, yeah. To be honest, a lot of the styles that come with the 2024 theme and 2025 theme, the settings are fine for some of the sites I'm building. So don't have to do too much of that, but yeah, absolutely, I'll do it. Yeah. Right, I just want to finish with a cool thing, which is kind of going to hopefully bring everything together. And what we're going to end up with is a landing page. I love doing landing pages. I've got an example here. It's not the most exciting one, but hopefully... hold on. I don't have an example, but I'm going to show you, we're going to build it. Essentially what we're going to end up with is a landing page, okay? And we're going to use templates to do this, and everything we've learned so far to do it. So what this essentially means is we can have a page that has an entirely different layout. And what we're going to do today, in the last 5 minutes, is we're going to remove the header and the footer and just have a nice big hero image on the page. So let's say you're sending out an email campaign to folks, you want it to be very distraction-free, you just want them to focus on the core call to action. It's fantastic for things like this. I use this a lot on my site. So we're going to start off by actually creating a custom template, because so far today we've just been using the pre-existing templates, but you can actually create your own templates, which is super cool. So can you go back to your dashboards, please? And then go Appearance, and then click on Editor. So there's a couple of steps to get this working, but once you understand this conceptually, it's really powerful. Then go to Templates once you're in the site editor, go to Templates. And we've seen this before. Here's all our pre-existing templates. Okay, but what we haven't used before is this new option up here, Add Template. Everyone see that? This is very powerful. Can you all click on Add Template? and scroll down, and there's this really exciting option down here that says custom template. Can everyone click on that? Now this is where we give it a name. I'm going to call it landing page. And click create. Okay, it's going to prompt us whether we want to use a pre-existing layout in this template. We don't want to use a pre-existing layout. So just close that down. And you'll see there's absolutely nothing in this template at the moment. Nothing at all. If I click on the list view, all I've got is an empty paragraph block. All we're going to do in this template is add the content block into it. Not a header, not a footer, just the content block. So within the editor, just type /content. Okay. So this template is essentially, all it's going to do is grab the content from a page and display it, but it won't show anything else. Which is perfect for landing pages. So just click save over on the top right. So that's step one, create the template. Now we need to go off and create the actual page that's going to use that template. So if you go back to your dashboards by clicking on the icon in the top left, and click on it again, go out of the site editor. So we're now back at the dashboard, and this is where we're going to create our landing page. So go to pages, and click add page. Now we're going to call this landing page, but remember the template isn't going to show the title because we didn't add a title block into the template, so it doesn't matter really. And within this landing page, for speed, we're just going to use the cover block, so just go /cover. We're going to choose a nice big image, so choose media library. I'm going to choose this image here because it's good for a cover, and set that as the background. Okay. Two other things we want to do quickly. We want to make it full height, which is that little option there. So it's going to be the full height of the person's browser that's viewing it. And we're going to make it full width by choosing the align option there, full width. And okay, obviously we could make this better in terms of the content, but I just want to show the principle. Write some stuff. So don't do this, but just watch me for a second because this will make sense. If I publish this and go and view it, can you see how currently we've still got this issue that it's got the header and it's got the footer and it's got our stuff? And that's because it's a page, so it's using the page template. Okay? But we need to switch it so it's using our new landing page template. So for you guys, can you see over here on the right, this is what we looked at earlier, we've got template options. And currently it's using the pages template, but we wanted to switch it, so click on pages, then choose change template, and you'll see this option over here. It doesn't look very good, but it will do. It's the landing page template over on the left. Select that. Again, you won't see any changes in the editor, but we will when we publish it. So click publish or save in the top right. And now go and view your page. And you should have a full screen, beautiful landing page. Because that page is using the landing page template. So you can create custom templates, as many as you like. So essentially you've got no design restrictions. Your theme doesn't give you any design restrictions. You can break free of what themes give you these days, because you can build templates with blocks, with no code. So it's very, very powerful. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that and found that useful, and go off and create lots of beautiful sites. Does anyone have any final questions? Yeah.
Hello, Jimmy.
Hi.
Can you go to the single post page, and then the content of the single post page, I want just align the content to justify.
So I didn't quite catch that.
Hello.
Hello?
So can you go to the single page?
The single post template?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the front you just view.
Okay, yeah.
So the content of this page, how can I align the text to the justify?
You want, what do you want, sorry, the text?
The text, yeah, the text, justify alignment of the text.
Where would you like it?
So yours is correct, but I think
But here,
on her side it's not
Oh, okay, I'll come.
justifying.
yeah, justify,
Okay.
yeah, just.
Can I come and have a, I'll come and have a look afterwards. If you've got a few minutes afterwards, I'll come and have a look at your site. Yeah, I need to see it. Anything else? If you want to dive deeper, then there's some great resources. Wes has done some amazing videos on WordPress.org's YouTube channel, a whole bunch of stuff, so have I actually. But also on the WordPress.com channel, we've got a whole bunch of stuff, and I've done some huge deep dives around the block editor on my YouTube channel, which is at JamieWP on YouTube. So if you want to dive deeper, check those out there.
I also just wanted to say there were one or two technical things that didn't work for folks. So can those one or two people just come and see us afterwards and have a quick look?
Brilliant. Well, thank you everyone. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you around. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.